Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards. Thanks for hopping on this video with me today. Today we're going to be discussing a topic I've wanted to talk about essentially since I started this channel, and that is what is the Topps version of the Panini Prizm Silver. You know, in basketball, you know, when you think of a player's rookie, you think of their Prizm rookie, and you think of like the best parallel, you think of the Prizm Silver. It's not the best parallel. A lot of times Prizm outsells the numbered cards for some reason, but you think of that Prizm Silver as the iconic card. With Topps, it's just not. It's harder to know what the iconic card is. You want to say flagship, but a lot of times you think of Topps Chrome or you think of other sets, you know, that can be more confusing. So I have two sets I want to talk about, and I think they can compete for the iconic status or like the closest thing to the Prizm Silver in baseball. So the first one is the Topps Flagship Gold parallels. I think those are extremely comparable to the Prizm Silver. And the next one is the Topps Chrome Refractor. Those are also pretty similar to Prizm Silvers. A little bit more in the looks department than actual like numbers and such. But I want to dig into both, say the pros and cons, and kind of give some backstory on both products and where they're at. So let's talk about Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome was released in 1996, and that was the first year, like, you know, Todd Helton was a rookie, then you had Ken Griffey Jr., Derek Jeter. They weren't rookies, but they were in it, Barry Bonds, and all these refractors are worth a lot. You know, Finest came out, I believe, in 1993, and that was such a popular set that they thought, you know what, let's make our Topps Flagship a Chrome card, and they did. And that made Topps Chrome, and it's still around today, and Topps Chrome is now easily past Finest as the best chromium set of the year. And now there's even subsets like Topps Chrome Ben Baller that came out this year. You have Sapphire, which is basically a little bit more, it kind of reminds me of Topps Tiffany, but it's basically a different looking Topps Chrome than the regular Topps Chrome. They've kind of made it confusing, but basically Topps Chrome is like the one that's been around since 1996. And from 2001 to 2006, they had a Topps Chrome traded set. So in Topps, you have Series 1, Series 2, and Update. A lot of times Topps Chrome is just Series 1 and Series 2, and then Topps Update or Topps Traded, it's the same thing. They changed names about 2006 as well there. But that's like the upper set they released later in the year to show traded players and rookies who debuted. They also released a Topps Chrome traded set from 2001 to 2006. From 2006 to 2010, they did a box topper rookie set. So every box came with a rookie card in a sleeve, and you opened it and it was an encased rookie of somebody. And that was a refractor. And those were usually numbered 300 to 600. So that was the closest thing they had to Topps Chrome Update back then. You know, from 2006 to 2013, when Topps Chrome Update was reintroduced, they didn't have it. They had like the rookie card, one per box thing. So it was kind of lacking. But in 2013, Topps Chrome Update was released again, and it came in a mega box. And this mega box had 5 packs of regular Topps Update and 2 packs of Topps Chrome Update. So you only got 8 Topps Chrome Update cards per mega box. It was $15 a box. So the set was reduced. It was only about 50 to 60 cards, but still not great odds. And that continued through 2016, that exact format from 2013 to 2016. And then you get to 2017, and that is the current Topps Chrome Update that we know. 2020 Topps Chrome Update was just released, I think this week or last week. So you can find that now if you're lucky, or you can buy it on eBay for 3 times more than it should go for. But my point remains, it's kind of been a little bit of a journey. And throughout this journey, there have been a lot of players who have been left off of the traditional sense of a refractor card of Topps Chrome. A lot of the best players debuted in Update, like their rookie cards. I'm going to read some of the players' cards who came out in Update. So like Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado, Christian Yelich, Mike Trout, Garrett Cole, Francisco Lindor, Paul Goldschmidt, Jose Altuve, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, DJ LeMahieu, Cody Bellinger, Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna, Matt Chapman, and there's tons more. Update has a majority of the best rookies up until recently. Topps has almost, it looks intentionally holding back a player's rookie cards until Series 1 so they can continue the cycle of having you want to buy all their products every year with the best rookies. But my point is, tons of Topps Chrome products. The history of Topps Chrome Update or traded is very confusing, and a lot of players are left out because of it. So now I'll give a little bit of backstory behind Topps Chrome. I'll give the pros and cons. The pros, it is the more premium set. You know, when you think of Topps Chrome, essentially, if you look at Prizm, it essentially replaced Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome went from, even in basketball, you know, you think of Kobe's Topps Chrome, but it came all the way up through 2009. It stopped, and then in 2012, they reintroduced Prizm. And they even called the Refractors and Prizm Silvers or Prizms at the time. They called them Prizms, and they changed it to silvers later, but they called them that because they couldn't call it a refractor, because that's what Topps coined, that refractive shine that the card has. So for actual aesthetics, it is probably the closest card. It looks like the Prizm Silver. But the thing that is missing is a ton of players, which I'll get into in a second, and it has a much higher print run compared to the Topps Flagship Gold cards. As well, a disadvantage to Topps Refractors, Topps Chrome Refractors and Prizm Silvers is they can increase print runs every single year on the actual base refractors, just because there's no way of knowing how many were released. You know, they can just print more off into more retail sets or more hobby boxes and just have the same odds and just have more of them made. While with the Topps Flagship Gold cards, those are numbered to the specific year they were released, and so because of that, they can't increase it. You know, this next year there will be 2021 golds of Joe Adell, who's probably the top rookie in the set. You know, that's how many there will be, but there will be a lot more Topps Chrome Refractors coming out. So that's a little bit of the Topps Chrome. Now we have Topps Flagship Gold cards. That's the other set I think is a good option. And Topps Flagship Gold, those are awesome because they have every single player in them. You know, in Topps Flagship, you have Series 1, 2, and Update, and every player will fall somewhere in there, about 900 cards in that whole set, and every single one of those cards will have a gold parallel number to the year, which is great. You know, Mike Trout's in 2011, and then you have Luis Robert out of 2020. And they're all serial numbered, so print runs can't increase on those. It's completely the same, and they have a very different stock. That's kind of the one con. They don't look the same as Prizm Silvers. They're a paper card. They are hard to grade versus being easy to grade, and they just have lots of chipping on the corners and edges. So that's one thing that's different about them. But let's discuss a little bit the history of Topps Flagship Gold cards now. So in 2001 it started, and it's just continued the same all the way through. So that's the full history. Much more simple, not complicated at all. And every major player has a Topps Flagship Gold card. The only player I know of that doesn't even have a Topps Flagship rookie that I can think of off the top of my head is JT Realmuto. He is the only one I can think of. Everybody else has one. But if you go to Chrome, there's tons of discrepancies for the base refractors that is confusing. For example, some of the problems with Chrome. If you look at Topps Chrome, let's look at Cody Bellinger. We could also look at Nolan Arenado and even Gleyber Torres, Ronald Acuna. All these players have the same problem. They weren't in Series 1 and 2, and Topps Chrome is released before Update, and they wanted to include these really good players into the set so that way you wanted to buy the product. So they pick an image that's not the iconic Topps Flagship image. You know, if you go look at the Nolan Arenado, his Topps Update is a really cool action shot of him taking a swing, but while his Topps Chrome card is him just standing up straight in the batter's box waiting. And so that's not the iconic image. And so Topps printed his 2013 Topps Chrome card, and then they released his Topps Update card, and then they made a Topps Chrome Update card with the same image as the Topps Update card. So my point is, it's just confusing which Topps Chrome is better. Do you want the base one that's not the iconic image, or do you want the Topps Chrome Update, which is the iconic image? Obviously, the print runs of Topps Chrome Update is way lower because there was only 2 packs per box versus a Topps Chrome regular box, hobby box comes with 24 packs. But the problem with Topps Chrome Update is the refractors, they're super low numbered. You know, 250 are the golds from 2013 to 2014, and 99 are the blacks. Those are the only refractors you had available to you. You didn't have any base refractors. So if you had either had the base card or a very low numbered card that's worth a ton of money. So it's hard to actually compare that to Prizm because there's not a silver. There's not a normal refractor. Same with 2014 with Mookie Betts, Garrett Cole, George Springer, while in 2013 you had Nolan Arenado and Christian Yelich. It's hard to have that be comparable when there's not a true refractor. You could go with the other Topps Chrome card that doesn't match the image of the iconic card, but that's not going to be as valuable. Same with Cody Bellinger. He has a fielding pose of him on 2017 Topps Chrome, while his Topps Chrome Update, again, is a really good action shot of him swinging, which matches his 2017 Topps Update card. So this is the same thing. The refractors out of 250, they do have regular refractors like golds out of 50, and so on. They have X-fractors, but the point is there's not a base refractor. So Topps tried to fix this issue by releasing in 2018 the pink refractors in Topps Chrome Update. Those are in the hanger packs. Those ones are like the most equivalent to the Prizm Silver, but again, they're not silver, which isn't a big deal because I'm arguing that Topps Flagship Gold can be the Prizm Silver. But that was like their first try of kind of fixing that issue, and they've done that since. And that's how it's going to be forward, and I think it will be consistent now. Now that the card hobby is back, they're going to be consistent with Topps Chrome update releases with the pink refractors and the continuous numbered refractors out of 250 and down. But that leaves the entire sets from 2001 all the way to 2017 up in the air on Topps Chrome. It's just not super consistent for the best rookies. I named all of the update rookies, and Mike Trout doesn't have a Topps Chrome card. Arenado does, but it's confusing on what's the actual refractor. So it's hard for me to argue that's the Prizm Silver. Well, if you go to the Topps Flagship, it is consistent, just like the Topps Chrome, but it is a paper card and it's gold. When Prizm Silvers came out in 2012, there were a lot less of them than 2012. Baseball released 2012 gold cards. Prizm probably had about 500 Prizm Silvers that first year. And then as time went on, they caught up really quick to having 2,000 Prizm Silvers. But the point remains that that keeps increasing while the flagship golds stay the same. So that's one advantage. So I just want to talk about a couple pop reports for some players and kind of let you decide what you think is a better option. So let's look at Ronald Acuña's pop reports real quick. So the refractors for Topps Chrome, there are 1,222 in the pop report. And for the gold flagship cards, there are 364 in the pop report for PSA. So there's 4 times more already graded refractor cards for PSA, which means you could go 2,000 times 4 right there. There's 8,000 refractors made. That's really bad math, and it probably isn't accurate, but it's a good way to kind of get an estimate of how many more there are. Let's look at Fernando Tatis Jr. He has 1,318 refractors and 404 golds for flagship. So right there, it's almost the same exact ratio where there's 4 times more refractors. So the point remains that they're much more scarce now, and that refractor number is going to keep ticking up for all the top rookies. Topps has no incentive not to print more. We're just lucky they started serial numbering them in 2001 because that made it so we have that consistency. So those are the arguments I have for flagship and Topps Chrome. You guys can decide what you think is better. But for me, flagship probably is the more reasonable option because it does have consistency, it does have the iconic image, and it will always be this way. As Topps moves forwards, they're going to continue releasing Topps Chrome sets. This year they released Allen and Ginter Chrome and Stadium Club Chrome. And they're going to keep doing these things because people love those Chrome cards. I think in the future, it might transition away from being the Topps flagship gold cards, being as the Prizm Silver card, but I think from 2001 all the way through 2000 and even 15 and 16, I would say that is the correct card. Sapphire will be like the Topps Tiffany of our time. Topps Tiffany was a set released in the 80s and 90s, which was a shorter printed version, a little bit better cardstock, a little bit brighter coloring that were in box sets, which exactly Sapphire was released as in 2016. But that's kind of what that is now, and I think that's where the hobby is going to go towards. I think it will become, the Topps Chrome Refractors will be the closest thing to Prizm Silver, especially as Topps holds all the players back intentionally to get them in the mainstream release. If there is a Topps Series 1 or 2 card of a player with their flagship image, that will have a Topps Chrome card. And Topps is doing that on purpose now, I think, because it helps them sell more and it just makes this less confusing. But I think from 2001 to 2016, it is the gold card is the more comparable card, and that's the one I would look to purchase because that is the easiest parallel to understand and it will be consistent. But 2017 even all the way to the future, I would consider looking at Topps Chrome, whether it's Topps Chrome update refractors, the pink refractors, or the base refractors if the player has the correct image on their base card. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys and it wasn't too confusing. I think the history of Topps and the way they release their sets is so interesting and how they've changed things. And it's interesting to see how it's becoming more stationary now. They're moving back into where Topps feels they have a good foothold on the hobby. So really cool stuff. If you have any comments or questions, please comment them down below. Let me know what you guys think is the better version. And on top of that, thank you for your time, guys. And until next time, have a good one.